So today we are going to talk about and discuss about React and Next.js. React and Next.js both are different to JavaScript UI framework. Okay, we will see one by one. Uh, so how can we develop that application or project using these two items? So this is the basic level and beginner level. So we'll start from web application. What is web application? That kind of introduction. So uh, okay. So web application is what? So when what you are seeing in your browser, basically that is called as a web page. Typically, it's a web page. The collection of web pages or collection of dynamic web pages are called web application. For example, when you open some browsers in your application or in your system, so what will happen? You try to render that pages. It is being a web application. It is being a HTML page. Else, it just work as a text viewer. So I will show some example. Are you able to see my new screen? Okay, right. Okay, whenever you open any file in your browser, it's trying to read as a text viewer. Okay, so what that file content is, it displays same content here, right? So similarly, if you have any HTML page, okay, so okay, I just opened that text file. It shows us what is exist in the text file. It will be displayed same way. So there is no change. It just work as a text viewer. But if similar content, if this file is a HTML file, then it will try to render, right? So if it is being a HTML file, then it will try to render using on that DOM. So what is DOM? We will see it. So basically, web application is a web page. Web page can contain that HTML content. So HTML content is nothing but what you are seeing in your browser is called as a HTML content. So HTML content, before that HTML content, okay, here we see that. Okay. So you typically it's trying to create a DOM object based on the HTML. It try to create a DOM object. So how the DOM object looks like? So typically, it's try to create a DOM object. DOM is nothing but document object model. So all HTML files will be converted as a DOM object in your browser. So browser can be different anything, it a Chrome or it a Internet Explorer or anything. So this is called as a rendering the page. So HTML file will be converted as a DOM. DOM will be rendering in your browser as it is defined. So that rendering can be a little bit different in your browser or your Internet Explorer, something different, but that there will not be any more much deviation on that. So this is the web page will be working on this way. And okay, back to that web application. So that web application in earlier days in 95, 96, it's called as a server based application. Typically the web application will be evolved like this way. Earlier stage it was server based application, and in mid of 2000 or 2005, that time that server client application will be famous, that is called as a MVC based application. And now that modern era, that client based applications, it's more famous now. In earlier server based application like classical ASP or JSP, PHP, so everything will be stored in your server side as a HTML file or some kind of ESP files. When open that okay, typically that ASP files looks like this. So it's a HTML file, but it includes that dynamic content. When when the browser requests that specific file, that is real-time file, so that ASP engine will, but what will happen in server side, it will read that server content and change into a static content, and it will send to your browser. Browser reads this HTML and create a DOM and rendering your pages. So this is what happened in server side era. And back to server client applications, typically MVC based application, it is called as modern view and controller. When the user request or browser request some resources in server application, server will execute that specific controller action method and get the data from model and binding into view. So view can be a direct HTML file, or it can be a any other format. If it is any other format, that browser need a some kind of framework or transpiler to convert into a regular HTML pages. This is called our MVC application. In our team, Kotaja, they are working on the MVC application with Vue.js as a view. So it will send that Vue.js file. Then Vue.js engine will convert some content that is based on the Vue.js content. It will change into a static file, and then it display rendering into say HTML page in your browser. Typically, come to that modern era client-based applications, it's fully JavaScript framework. So when user request any specific page or anything in the particular web application, it's sent as a junk. The junk will be loaded into your browser. Then the specific engine will rendering everything and created everything based on the junk, and it provides a static page. This is what client-based applications currently working on it. So the modern day, that topmost client-based application or JavaScript UI framework or Angular or React and Vue. So if you say Angular or React or Vue, you can see it. Another name is JavaScript UI framework. Okay. How that Angular, React, and Vue is working on it. Okay. So Angular is, you know that it is a Google product, and React is the product come from Facebook, and Vue is created by that ex-employee of Google. Okay. So when you analyze that which one is best and what can be provided by it, this kind of each framework, so we can say This is the final touch or final comments we receive that each framework. Angular is called as a complete UI framework, and Vue is called as a progress framework. Progress framework is nothing but it can be implemented in any existing application easily. For example, you are already have that jQuery based application or MVC based application. You can include that Vue content in your Vue pages. Then it will be worked as a progressive framework. So Angular is a complete UI framework, and but that ultimate aim for each framework to bring that complete UI framework, but something is not happened for each framework. So this is the final command we received for each framework. Angular is a complete UI framework, and Vue is a progressive framework, and React is a UI library. Since as of now, React is not a complete UI framework as comparing with Angular or Vue. So it is mostly used as a UI library, since React provide less functionality and less components. We will see how that React is working, but React is more popular than Vue, and it is a top second used framework in IT industry, and React is being used in Facebook and WhatsApp and Skype and many other biggest organizations are still using that. React is one of the most important framework in JavaScript UI. Okay, so what is React? Okay, typically when you create a Angular application, the aim of JavaScript UI framework is to create a or build a UI component. That's that more important output for each kind of UI framework. Okay, so but how that React is handling that UI component or UI building blocks? Okay, when you compare that Angular and Vue with React, so in Angular, typically you have some commands, create a component, then it will create a 3 or 4 files that includes that JS file and CSS file and HTML files. Okay, HTML file for display the content, CSS for styling the content, and your JavaScript control that these two. Okay, and typically Vue, it doesn't have this kind of concept, but they have a special file called .vue. So the Vue file is consist of 3 divisions. One is style, and another one is template, and another one is script. So these 3 combined will be working together and produce the component. But in React, they have a new extension language that is called as JSX. Okay, JSX is nothing but syntax extension of JavaScript. So there is no much difference between your HTML file and JSX files. JSX is combination of JavaScript and HTML. You can write your HTML content inside your JavaScript. Similarly, you can write your JavaScript inside your HTML content. So this kind of capability provides by JSX. So it doesn't have more difficult or nothing. Something is a little bit difficult to understand. Nothing happened. So it is easy. You know JavaScript, you know HTML, then you know JSX also by default. So there is no much difference. There is only one difference that I will let you know later. Okay. So what is React? React is initially it is used by Facebook. Then they published this React application in 2013. So in React they are using that JSX, and the advantages of React is it can create a reusable components and fast performance. So when you compare that Vue and Angular, it supports two-way binding, but in React it supports only that unidirectional, it is single-way binding. And also it use virtual DOM. So we'll see that what is virtual DOM later. Okay, and learning curve is very simple, since React does not provide any functions, okay, or any other new statements in React. So as like Vue provides a lot of directives like Vue if, v else, v if, v show. This kind of statements not available in React. React does not provide any new statement. Okay, so it just uses existing JavaScript functionality, JavaScript statement only. Okay, the next point is it is a developer friendly. Since you know already JavaScript and HTML, it is very easy for you, and there is no much difficult, and it can be customizable easily. And another important point is, unlike Vue and Angular, it supports server-side rendering. We saw that in previous slide, where there are three types of applications, that is server based and server and client based and client based only. But React, it is being a client side, and also it supports server side rendering also. So we will see what is the difference between server side and client side rendering. Okay, the next point is, what is prerequisite to install React? If you want to install, you can install it. The prerequisites or for React is, the first point is npm and Node.js and VS Code. These three are prerequisites. And how we can create a React application is very, very simple. You don't need to install any other things other than that, these three: npm, Node.js, and VS Code. Okay, we will show some demos. Okay, you are able to see my screen, right? Okay. The simple command is npx create React app. Latest means it will install latest version of React. Okay. Then you have to provide that name of the project or name of the application. So you can provide some application name. Else, if you want to create the application in same folder, it means now current folder is demo-easy group. I want to create in the same folder, then you have to provide dot. It means you can create application in the same directory. Otherwise, you have to provide a application name. It will create a new directory and install the setups. Okay, I'm going to with the same name, demo-easy group. And by default, React is built with JavaScript. So the default language for React is JavaScript, but you can change the uh, uh, language to TypeScript as well. So for TypeScript, you have to provide additional parameter for this command, that is template equal to TypeScript. Okay, can you create now? Okay. So when you create a React application, the TypeScript is a better choice, I guess, since it provides type safety. So you can identify that syntax error or typed error. So it is very useful other than that JavaScript. But when you see that tutorial or official document, everything will be in JavaScript only. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me. You can stop and ask me. Okay, we successfully installed. So I already installed the npm and nodes. So there is no prerequisites, and also I have that VS Code. So how to open or launch that application? So first we will open. So I am going to open this application in VS Code. So for that, code dot. Okay, it is being launched. Okay, this is our project structure. Node module is nothing but all the prerequisites for to run this application will be installed. As part of that, React and public, we will have limited files. That is, index HTML is initial or starting file for that. And the content or images available in public folder, it will be publicly available. That's the meaning for that. And package.json, this is a one. What are that dependencies required for this application that will be stored here? Okay. And this one is we are using that TypeScript. So there is a configuration of TypeScript. Okay. And then source folder. So our content will be in source folder. I remove that unneeded files. So whatever I delete, those files needed for some specific purpose, but now it is not required. So I will delete it. Okay. So we'll run that application, then we will explain how it is working. Okay. To run this application, we have to use the terminal. The command is npm start. Okay. I will hit that enter key. It's open now, but you are not able to see it now. Okay. I will. So you are able to see the content.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So Okay, back to uh, okay. So how this works here? Okay, when you hit the browser that is launched in okay, it is launched in localhost 3000. It's a by default port for React application 3000. Okay, so it will try to hit that index HTML page. That is the first one. That is the first. Okay, here we provided that div ID root. All right. So this is that place where that page or content will be displayed inside this root. Okay. So how this root is evaluated, then it will call that index.tx pages, index.tsx. So in index.tsx, we are calling that app component. This is a similar structure. We are going to use all the application. They don't need any changes on this. Okay, we are calling that app component. So app component is nothing but app TS files. So what is exported here? That is function app. This is that component. Here in React applications, each file, it might be a TSX nothing but TypeScript extension. That is JSX, TypeScript extensions. If you are using that JavaScript application, it's similarly like that app.jsx. It means JavaScript extension, that is JSX files. Okay. Typically, the components look like this one. So you are creating that component in the name of any name. That is, we are creating that TSX. So it should have that one function. You can provide any name for that, but that function name should be in capital letter. Then only it understands that says a JSX. Otherwise, it read as a regular JavaScript functions. That's the only one difference. You have to remember it. So if you are going to create any component, that the name of the function should be in capital letter. First letter should be in capital letter or big letter. Else it read as a regular function. Okay. Okay. This function should return some content, HTML content. So here you can directly provide any HTML content. So once it is changes done, everything will be compiled together and you can see it, the result. Okay. So that we provided the test React application. So we are displaying here. Okay. Our next topic is, so now we know that what is that component. So the component is that building blocks for React applications. So the most of that purpose of the React application is the building UI components. It's a 90% of core concept of React is building components. Okay. The building components can be created in three ways. The one is class-based component, and another one is functional-based components, and another one is constant-based components. So we will check that how that uh, how we can create a each type of components. Okay. Okay, it's a class-based components. It means that we are going to extend that React component class, and we have to render, and we have to return what we need for this specific components. Okay, the output is okay. It's changed as a class-based component. Okay, right. So, but class-based components say oldest formatter. Before 4 years or 3 years back, they are using that class-based component. Now the latest one is functional-based components. But what I am saying here is you can see any kind of tutorial or any other reference, they might have provided the information based on the class based. So don't need any panic. So class based is a oldest format. As of now, that the recommended way is functional based component. Functional based component is nothing but we can see that. Okay, you are able to see my screen now.
Yes, Sathik.
Okay. Okay. Okay, you have to export a default one. So it is a class based. Now we have to import as a functional based. Okay, now you see that screen. Okay, change as a function based components, right? And next one is constant based things. Okay, so as I said earlier, that name of that component must be in capital letter. First letter should be in capital letter. Then only it is understood as a JSX. Otherwise, it is read as a normal JavaScript function. Okay. Uh, I'm just calling that constant based function here. It must be export. Okay, now you see that browser. Okay, const based. So these are the three types we can create a component based on the class or function based and constant based. So the function based is most preferred way, and typically you can use also constant based. whenever it is required. For us, we just created a inline constant function and called it from parent component. So this way we can call that a constant based. But you can see most of the examples, most of that reference in modern days, it will be in function based. So you also prefer that function based component, but class based is the oldest format. Now it is not in usage. Okay, right. So now we understand that component is the most important portion of that React applications. So as I said earlier, that React does not provide any uh, statement or directives. It typically it provides us a hooks. Hooks is nothing but it's a provide special feature or additional features for that your component. That is called as a hooks. So we have several hooks in your React application. We will see one by one quickly. Okay. 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 We saw that React components, class-based and function-based, and use state. So use state is the one of that hooks used in React. It is more and most important hooks in React applications. So the usage of use state is nothing but it is used to maintain the state of the component or state of the variable of the component while re-rendering. So what we understand from this statement, it is used to maintain the state of the variable of the component while re-rendering. It means that that component will be re-rendered. That time it will maintain the state, right? So okay, the syntax of that use state is constant. We have to provide that open bracket and close bracket two variables and use state. Okay, we will see that example. Okay. Okay, the syntax for create a component is function app state, and then it must be export. And it must be that index page of that application. So we can call that. Okay, we'll set out that result. Okay, abstract example. Okay, right. Okay, I said that state hook is used to maintain that state of that component. Okay, how it is looks. Okay. Okay, I just create one state. Okay. And typically React application provides only two packages by default. That is that only two available packages. One is React and another one is React DOM. So rest of that packages, if you want to use that router or some other components, it is a third party, and you must implement or you must implement separately. So by default, React provides only two packages, that is React and React DOM. Okay. Okay. So use state is create a variable under the name of name. Okay, that's the name. And if we defining the name is in constant, right? So by default rule, you can't change the value of the constant variable. All right. So for that, if you want to change any constant variable, you have to call that function, that is set name. How we can use it? We say that. So what you are providing is the default value for that variable name. Okay, I just provide Sathik. Okay. So you can use your regular HTML and JavaScript. So nothing other than that, React does not provide any statement. So as I said earlier, React is one-way binding. There is no two-way binding or model. It does not support anything. So you have to maintain yourself two-way binding if you want. Okay. So what is the result we will see here? Okay. The result must be so we provided that so we created that variable name, that is name. We're assigning that value Sathik is a default value, and this value is binding into that input type text, and also we are displaying that name. Okay, so it is being a one-way binding. What will happen? You see that you can't edit anything on this, right? And also it provide that warning or error messages in your browser. That is, you provided a value prop without on change. It means that whenever you use that state and binding into a any other field, input type or any other field, you have to use that on change. Otherwise, it will consider as a read value or it cannot be changed. So how we will handle that? Okay, so we have to use that regular JavaScript or HTML on click method. So you have to call set name to change the value of the variable name. Okay, set name. Opening. Okay, 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay, it should be on click on change. Okay, right. Now we see that result, how it looks like. Okay. So, right, you are able to see now. So what we have provided, we have created that on change method and update that value using that set name, right? So the result must be so now it updates that value. So what will happen? Okay, see this. So whenever I type, the value is being changed, and also the component is rendering. Right, able to see the difference? So whenever you change the value, so what is happening that it's the component is rendered. Whenever you change that state variable of the component, that component will be re-rendered. So that's what it maintaining the previous state, and also whenever change that, it's re-render the state or component state of the component. So anybody understand this one?
Yes, Sathik. So I
Okay.
think gradually we will, get to follow.
Yes. So you change something here or update something here, it will update the value and re-render. Right. This is that way used for that use state. Use state is used to maintain a state and also re-render while change that state of that value of the component. Okay, right. So the next item is, you can see that use ref. So we saw that hook is used to update the value and also it is used to re-render the component. For typical scenario, you just maintain the value but do not want to change the do not want to re-render that component. That time we can use that use ref hook. So that's a one way of usage. And another way of usage is, if you want to manipulate or DOM manipulations using that, you can evaluation, or you can do focus, or you can choose some kind of uh, behavioral change, that you can use that use ref also. So this is the two way of usage of use ref. One is manipulating DOM and another one is you want to state a maintain a state without re-rendering. So how it is working, we will see that. Okay, so same. Okay, in same component we use that use ref also. So if you want to, you can define that type of that your reference value. So you can say, okay. So if you want to access a reference use ref, that must be called as a current value of use ref, since it is a reference. It will have the reference. Okay, we will see that. And also we can have another state variable. Okay. So when we change that state variable, it's re-rendering. And also values updating. You see that when we it will re-render, what will happen? Okay, so it will re-render. So yeah, all constants or all variable will be initialized, right? So that ref value maintain the state. It doesn't change anything. But when we change that value or update the value, it doesn't re-render. So that's the usage of ref value. Okay, the next item is we saw that two usage, that is maintaining the state without re-rendering. Another one usage is you can control that HTML element using this ref value. We will see that how we can see that. So if JavaScript, you can stop this with this one, but TypeScript, you can provide the type. So here is HTML input element. That's the type of input type text. Okay. The next is a ref. A ref is that API that is provided by the React for each HTML element. Okay.
Sathik, sorry to
Ah,
interrupt. We are at 4:36.
ah.
How long do you
Yeah,
need?
we will stop with this one.
Okay,
Yeah, just 5 minutes, just 2 minutes, so we can complete.
that's sure.
Okay. Okay. We will see that how that page is rendered. Okay. Okay. So now this is see that screen render as a text box with another one button. So now that requirement is I want to click this focus text, then it should be focused. That's the requirement. So how we can do this with the help of ref. Okay. Back to VS Code. Okay. So on click, you can create separate const function, that is const focus text. Okay. Then input ref. So it must be called current. Then focus. So it will provide all the properties for this HTML input element. All right. So I will call this focus text here. So we will see that browser, how it looks like. Okay. So I click focus text, then it will be focused here, right? So this is the way of usage of ref. Okay, I hope that everything will be understandable for you, and we will stop that with this one. Continue tomorrow. Thanks to everyone.